I wonder how many of you, like me, never grow tired of watching the ocean. It has a kind of timelessness. Long before you or I set foot on this earth, waves crashed upon these shores. The tides have come and gone, storms have come and gone, and year after year, day after day, these waves rise and then crash on these shores. I marvel at God's amazing creativity and handiwork. And long after the sun sets on the lives of you and I, unless the Lord calls time on the current creation, the ocean will continue to roll onto these shores, sometimes caressing the shore, sometimes pounding and battering it. Each day the sun rises and the sun sets, and the ocean waves roll in relentlessly. Each day new people are born and others pass on, but guided by God's hand and the laws of nature He established, the tides roll in. We each have an allotted time span in this life before the sun sets on us. So what are we doing with the time that we have? Are we spending our days in futility, chasing after the things of this world, focused on collecting possessions to feast our eyes on? Eyes that can never get enough and always want more. Are we spending our days seeking the approval of our fellow travellers in this life? Maybe trying to impress other people who probably don't think about us as much as we might think they do, because they too are busy seeking those same things. Or do we take the time to seek and find out what the Almighty maybe desires for us to do with our lives, to find out what's really important in the scheme of things? In the Gospel of Matthew chapter 4, we find Jesus walking by the Sea of Galilee, and he sees two brothers, Simon, or Peter, and Andrew his brother, casting nets into the sea, for they were fishermen. And then he says to them, "Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men." They immediately left their nets and followed him. And then going on from there, he saw two other brothers, James the son of Zebedee and his brother John, in the boat with Zebedee their father, and they were mending their nets. he called them, and immediately they left the boat and their father and followed him. Of course, there's no guarantee that all of our efforts will be met with immediate success, but I wonder how many of us are even attempting to be fishers of men. And it's not always an easy thing to do, because many times the fish don't want to be caught. I love the ocean. Being by the sea is a great place to reflect. It can be a peaceful place and such a serene environment, but it can also be a lonely place. In fact, life can be a lonely walk. I wish I could say that it wasn't, but in my experience it often is, and often it's full of dashed hopes and deep disappointments. But here's the thing. Life is not really meant to be just about the here and now. God has put eternity in the hearts of men, and just like the ocean that continues to roll onto the shore, when we leave this earthly life, our spirit lives on. The decisions we make in this life will have effect into eternity. I don't know about you, but I've made some pretty bad decisions at times in my life. Decisions I've regretted. But one decision I've never regretted was the day I confessed Jesus Christ as Lord and believed in my heart that God raised him from the dead and trusted in him for my salvation. Now, dying to myself has been a much more difficult thing, I must say. And that's a constant journey of mistakes and getting back up again and trusting that God still has a plan regardless of my failings. How we treat others makes a huge difference in our lives and their lives, with far-reaching consequences. What we say about others, does it build them up or does it tear them down? And what we say to others, particularly those we claim to love, is so important. How many times people refuse to talk and turn their backs on someone they have claimed to love, never finding out how maybe God could have mended two broken hearts if only they had reached out to each other without pride and trusted God to heal their wounds. Let's not forget that we really do need to treat each other the way we'd like to be treated. Let's not forget that while God is love, we also have an enemy, the father of pride and the father of lies. So guess what two of his favourite weapons are? So give him no foothold in your relationships. Matthew chapter 6 says, "But seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added to you." So I want to encourage people to seek God first by seeking him in his word, his written word.